We have all wasted money on some silly purchase at some point. I think top of my list has to be back in 2002. I was obsessed with fish. I spent a fortune on aquariums and cute little fishies to put in them. Not happy with that, I wanted my whole home to have a fish and fluffy theme. So I spent thousands, yes, I said thousands, on fish ornaments, fish mats and even a fishy toilet seat. You may ask what a flutty is. Well, it was a particular type of ridiculously expensive hanging ornament. There were fish, seahorses and bugs made with a delicate net material. The real fish were constantly getting sick, and I had a vet that came out to them, charging a big fee due to his speciality in the field. But they almost always died anyway. That, I have to say, was my biggest waste of money. But I've got nothing on some of the examples I'm going to give you now. Cars have always been a status symbol, and you are not surprised when you hear of a celebrity having an impressive collection. Back in the 1950s, Henry Ford built a car called the Edsel, ignoring all advice regarding design and the name because he was so adamant that this is the car he wanted. It cost the equivalent of $3 billion in today's money, and it was a huge flop. It's catalogued as one of the biggest historical wastes of money. Miley Cyrus purchased a Range Rover worth $160,000 simply to travel with her dogs, as she didn't want to get her main car covered in hairs. This certainly is a bit of a waste, but if you have millions at your disposal, I guess 2 functional cars isn't a big deal. But how about 100 cars, like Floyd Mayweather? Or the 29th Sultan, who owns 7,000 cars? Like, seriously, who on earth needs that many cars? The same guy paid $15,000 for a haircut, flying in a particular barber that he wanted to do it. But that's nothing on Rihanna, who spends $1 million a year on the upkeep of her hair. If you think Miley Cyrus is OTT with a car for her dogs, then what about Paris Hilton, who built a house for her dogs inside her own house costing $300,000, or the unnamed millionaire who purchased a dog collar costing $250,000 for their pooch? I can kind of understand the doghouse thing, but the cost, Well, Drake likes to throw some wild parties at his pad, and the neighbours complained. So he paid almost $4 million to buy them out, so he didn't have to worry about the disturbances. Once you have acquired the home of your dreams, then you want to adorn it with the best furniture. But would you purchase a gold bath for $2 million like Mike Tyson? Or what about gold toilet paper at $75 a roll? What about $2,000 for a Louis Vuitton trash bag? $200 for a paper clip? Or $300 for a paper bag with a designer logo on it? Talk about throwing money away. Beyonce once filled a bath with bottles of champagne for a music video at $20,000 a bottle. And when it comes to being excessive with her kids, she's right up there, having spent $80,000 on a Barbie doll for her 1-year-old daughter. If you won the lottery, what would you buy? I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be $300,000 on an actual remote control Lamborghini on a chain, like Soldier Boy. Yes, you did hear that right. Jay-Z, who is Beyonce's husband, wanted to buy the artwork from the Sistine Chapel painted by Michelangelo, which of course isn't for sale. So he spent millions getting it replicated in his own home. Only in this version, it is his image used as God. Egotistical maybe, to the extreme. But in India, a Chief Minister, Mayawati, spent $1.3 billion of public money having parks with statues of herself in them built. And once she had a statue torn down and rebuilt at the cost of $70,000 as it was not tall enough for her likeness. Sometimes we like to stick the finger up at those who would doubt us, but how much would you spend to do it? Roman Emperor Caligula did just this. As an astrologer once said, there's more chance of riding a horse across the bay than you becoming emperor. So when he did become emperor, he built a bridge across the river, marched back and forth with his troops for 2 days before it collapsed, all to say screw you to a psychic. I really hope he got the message. We all have fears, and to be honest, with my health anxiety, if I could afford it, I would buy my own MRI scan. But Lady Gaga had a different phobia. She was afraid of spirits following her. So she spent $70,000 on ghost detection systems that could be brought around with her. Let's return to useless transportation. Katy Perry bought a trip to space for Russell Brand, but as there is so much training involved, he could never use it. She only threw away $300,000. Tom Cruise has 7 private jets to ensure that there is always one available for each member of his family, with backups available just in case. The most up-to-date phone is a must-have for many, and even a good quality case to hold it in. But spending $15 million on a cover? A Japanese businessman got his iPhone 5 covered in diamonds for this price. How ridiculous when phones are updated so frequently. But for me, the most ridiculous on this list is the $3 million window. That was supposed to have been the window used by the sniper who killed JFK. Having purchased it, the buyer found out that it may in fact not actually be that window at all, and he had just forked out $3 million for a normal window. What has been your biggest waste of money?